Hey, old guy here, and if you haven't seen it, this is the Lamborghini, and we've got a little damage going on. Well, the next project are these skid plates. So I went out to try to buy another pair, and as you can see, the previous owner has certainly used them. I mean, they've done their job. But I don't want to put those back on that nice bumper. So, unfortunately, I am going to have to make a set of skid plates. They're not expensive. They're only like 300 bucks, 400 bucks. But what I don't want to do is all the holes are lined up in a certain position. And if I go walk over to the bumper, you can see that these holes they correspond to the plates. Well, I don't want to have to drill an additional set of holes in the bumper, nor did I want to go ahead and fill them because that's not going to look as good either. So I'm going to end up making a set of skid plates. So let's get started. So what I did is I went out on eBay and I found some ABS. This is 1/4 inch, smooth on the back side, and what they call a hair cell finish on the front side. So I'm going to go ahead and trace these out. I'm going to make a little jig to be able to use a router, get a nice smooth edge, and yeah, we'll just play with it a little bit, and hopefully they'll come out looking good. But yeah, a lot of work for a little bit of effort, but I think in the end of the day, it's going to make the Lamborghini look good, plus it's going to cut down on the amount of holes in the front bumper. So first thing I want to do is I've got a good one here. The other one had the corner chewed off, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a trace. This is 3/4 inch MDF. This is at least going to give me an idea as to where to make a router jig out of. So I'm just going to trace it with a marker. Now if you look on it, the holes have been chewed up. And they take a 3/16 star rivet. So I am going to mark the holes because that's the most important part. That's why I'm doing this. And then I'll go ahead and adjust them down to 3/16. Instead, right now they're at about a 1/2 inch. So when I took them off, I chewed up a couple, but at the same time, they were already pretty chewed up. So I've traced it out, and now I'm just going to cut it out, and I'm going to cut it on the line, and then I'll sand down to the edge of the line, and that'll give me an exact match of these pieces. So I've got my holes all marked out, and I'll center punch these to give me the exact centers. And then I'll drill them with 3/16 pins, and that'll guide me up to mount the plastic to the router jig. So we'll go ahead and show you everything that's required to do this. By the way, it is cheaper just to buy them. The only reason I'm doing it is because the holes match up to what's already in the bumper, and didn't want to put additional holes in the $20,000 bumper. So just like anything else, it's like following the line. So I'll just start detailing it out. One skid plate down, and just got to do a little final sanding, but actually came out really pretty smooth. So I'll go ahead and finish that up. It's now a little block sanding to get rid of any of the saw blade marks that are left on the unit. And you want to use a block so that you keep the perpendicular to the top, and that way you'll get a nice router, because I am going to router these out. So, but the edge you're looking for is just smooth, no blade chatter. Dimensions aren't as critical because it's just a piece of plastic that's going on here that really doesn't match up to anything else in general as far as the outside diameters, dimensions rather. So anyway. So I've got the ABS flipped upside down, and I'm going to make a mirror image of both of them. And I'm going to use just a Sharpie. I'm using the smooth side of the ABS. The other side's got that hair cell, and this is a really widened out tip. And it's going to leave a nice strong line, as you can see. And I'm going to be cutting to the outside of that line because my router bit is going to fill in and take it all the way down to this wood. So we'll trace out this one if we get enough ink out of this marker, which it's dying. you definitely want to cut wide of the line. Now we're going to flip it over and do the exact opposite on this side. So neatness here actually does not count. Now I'm going to take that back, trim them out, so I've got a mirror image of each one, so when I put them on I don't have two rights or two lefts. So anyway, we'll go trim these out and you take the next step. You can still see the line I drew because I'm going to use a router bit, and I just need to get it close so it doesn't overload the router, but I didn't want to go into the line. Plus, the template now is super smooth. I've got all the holes marked, and now I'm just going to go ahead and we'll be putting this on here like this. And as you can see, we got a little bit of an edge. It may be a little too much, but we'll try it. And that'll give us the router. The router will follow this, and then it'll trim off of this section. So we'll go ahead to the next step and yeah, see how this works out. Okay, so what I decided to do, rather than drill those 3 holes in the middle that I punched out, I went ahead and double face taped it down to the wood. So what's going to happen is then the router got a little ball bearing on it at the end, and that'll ride basically like this, and it will cut the plastic and ride against the wood itself. So I'll show you how that works, and hopefully we won't have any problems. Kind of messy, but we now have an exact match to the piece of wood we made. Now we just have to drill out the holes, and this side is done. What we have to do now is drill these holes out, not the ones in the middle, but the ones on the edges, and that'll drill through the ABS, and that'll give us a mark to turn it over and do some more work to it. So here we go. You out of my mind. Strange to be here alone. Yeah. Place that we used to go all the time. I need to do this alone, so just stop calling me up. So we've got all our holes located here that mount the actual board now, or the skid plate. And so I think I might do a little round over here on the edges. I think I'll just go back and hit that as well. Gonna do a reasonably quick tool change over. This is a 1/4 inch round over bit. So it gives it a little bit of radius on that edge, and we'll just change this out, recut that piece one more time just to get it the way I want it. And you can see now how this bit works. Got the bearing at the top and the cutter, and that's what just did all that work. Okay, so I've got the tool all set. I'm only going to cut this edge around the front and the side. I'm not going to bother about the back, but I am going to start it back here just to double check it. But you never see it, never use it, so. Yeah. Okay, I decided to go all the way around, so what that did is give it a nice little radius on the edge. So I went ahead and did all sides. It was pretty simple, and one more step to go, and then this side is finished. But you can see now what goes into making a skid plate. Okay, this is the final drill procedure. So this is a 3/4 inch Forstner bit on here, and what that'll do is it will countersink these holes to allow one of these rivets. These are exploding riv nuts, and that'll allow the head to sit flush below. So I'll just show you how it's going to look, and then you can decide. So you can see now there's a nice deep crevasse, or not a crevasse, just a relief in there, and then once this goes in, this head will sit down in this cavity and won't protrude out from the rest of the unit. But I'll go ahead and do the rest. There you go, all done. You got to do final is going to be just drill these holes out to 3/16, which is the final size of the rivet, and then we'll go ahead and attach them. But just a super nice job. It recesses the rivet head so you just don't look underneath, you don't even see it. Plus now all the edges are radiused, as you can see, and yeah, this should be pretty nice. I'll do the other side and we'll put them on. Okay, both sets are done, left and right, and here's that little detail I was talking about. The rivet's got a large head on it, and as you can see, it's got the recess. So now, when it sits in there, it'll be flush, so you won't see the rivet, and it'll give the skid plate a chance to work without knocking the head off the rivet, rather than just having it sit proud up on top. A little bit nicer detail, but I think it'll look pretty good. And so that was a 3/4 inch Forstner bit that I used, and of course the hole is 3/16, and these are those star rivets, and they expand up when you put them in. But I'll show you how the whole unit looks installed on the bumper. Well, here we go. Fully installed, brand new, handmade set of skid plates. Didn't buy them. Lined up. Almost perfect into the holes that were there. It's a little dark in here, but and you can see now why we've got them recessed. So when you look down the top, you no longer see the rivets. That's kind of a nice little touch, but anyway, the skid plates are done. Give you a little point of reference, and you can see them on both sides. But anyway, that was a pretty good little project. Took about 3 hours start to finish, and now I have a mold to go ahead and make more if I decided to ever sell them or anything. But still, they're all nicely done, and yeah. So thanks for watching this portion, and yeah, we'll go keep working on this bumper.
I just wanted to stop because I miss you so much. I miss the way we touch, and I need to make it stop.